All right, we have 1/7, day 2. Still working with inequalities. Only difference now is going to be we're going to throw in some absolute value signs, which will change, kind of changes our setup a little bit. The actual steps to solve, not really. Not really. You're still going to see this, that as we're solving, we still want to isolate our variable. That's the whole deal in solving, is you're trying to get, whatever unknown quantity you have, typically called x, right? Doesn't have to be, but most of the time it is. You're trying to get that all by itself on one side. Try for the left. Right? Try for the left. You have like 4 cases to work with here. Now, before we define these, u in these definitions is an algebraic expression. Big fancy term, right? You see them all the time, like a statement with numbers, x's, and pluses and minuses, right? Like 4x minus 7, right? U is an algebraic expression, and a is going to be a number. Such that it has to be positive, okay? If you were to be given a value for a that's negative, you would know right away, no solutions. Okay, so here's the deal. If you have this absolute value, here's what you need to solve. You basically rewrite it a little bit. All right, so these first 2 cases are basically greater than. So if you have an absolute value greater than a, you have to solve both of those. Greater than a, which is almost like you just drop the absolute value signs, and less than negative a. Not much different down here. You can throw less than or equal to. You got to solve both of those, okay? The bottom 2 here are less than symbols. So you would be looking at solving this. Whoops. I do not want that there. This is just strictly less than. And then down here, add the less than or equal to, okay? So it's more like one continuous interval that you solve for, not 2 separate ones, okay? So that's the first big key with absolute values, to get them rewritten into what you need to solve for. All right, let's solve some of these. Both of these are less than. So they fit really the last 2 that we were looking at, where you're going to have one continuous interval, okay? So I would have -2 less than x minus 5. In this case, x minus 5 would be your u, less than 2, okay? Really simple one to solve. All we do is add 5. Cancels there. All of your same rules that we established in day 1 about solving an inequality, they all still apply. And there you go. X has got to be between 3 and 7. If you wanted to use our interval notation, we could also say that for the solution. Here's the number line, because it does say graph your solution on a number line. There's 3 and 7. Now, I got to backtrack a little bit. I told you in day 1, if we don't want to include the points 3 and 7. Okay, so we got to mark on our number line, don't include them. I said to do it with open circles. That's correct. You could do that, okay? The other way, if you want to stay consistent with the interval notation, is right at 3, I could put parentheses. And then I could shade in between, okay? Just like in interval notation, if you used brackets, you could mark those 2 points with brackets. That would then say, hey, include the endpoints. Those are considered solutions. Okay, here they're not, so they're parentheses. Again, there's nothing wrong with the open circles, but it probably is simpler to just stay consistent with that interval notation. All right. Now, right here, I want you to see this. Right, but you notice right here, we know A has to be greater than 0. And here A is negative 16. So as that is written, you would identify this and say there's no solutions. Right? To solve an inequality that has an absolute value, A has to be positive. Okay? So now, just for the sake of more practice, let's just switch it to positive. And say this was 4x plus 2, absolute value less than or equal to 16. And we would have something like that. With our first step to subtract 2, those would cancel. Negative 18, less than or equal to 4x, which is less than or equal to 14. This one's got 2 steps to solve as opposed to 1. That first one we did was pretty simple. Oh, negative 18 over 4. Let's call that negative 9 over 2. 14 over 4, let's call that 7 over 2. And there we go. I'm going to include the endpoints here. So for the interval notation, I would say negative 9 over 2 and 7 over 2. Now, let's get to graphing. Here's 0. I'll head down to negative 4.5, and then up here 3.5. All right, so I shade in between. All those points are solutions. And now instead of the closed circle, which again, that's what I told you in day 1, which is technically correct, we need the brackets. Again, just to stay consistent so that it would look the same as that interval notation. Okay, so let's use that as opposed to the open and closed circles. All right, 2 more that involve greater than signs, and then we'll call it good. All right, so here we're not solving for one continuous interval. Rather, we would have x plus 3 less than negative 7, and then we would have x plus 3 greater than 7. There we get x less than negative 10, subtract 3 over here. X greater than 4. Okay, so we could say those are solutions. Okay. If we go with the interval notation, a little bit different deal here. These are unbounded. unbounded, and they're non-continuous. Negative infinity up to negative 10, and then 4 up to positive infinity. Just throw that on a number line. There's 0. Okay. Now, because this one was a greater than, it's not the interval in between the two. Those came from if the inequality was a less than, just like we saw on the first two. So here I would say, don't include 4, and then I want everything up here. Don't include negative 10, I want everything down here, okay? So it's kind of, remember an absolute value's definition is a number's distance from 0. Okay, so this started with the absolute value of x plus 3. The distance from 0 being at least 7. Okay, now it didn't work out that, 7 was our solutions because we had to subtract 3, so that put us at negative 10 and 4. But notice, because it's a greater than, you're talking about, okay, like at these locations and then farther away. Okay, whereas the less than was like, hey, there's your endpoints, and then all the solutions are inside of the interval. Here it's kind of like they're outside, okay? Which gives you these two separate intervals. All right, we'll do one more here. We got to solve 7 minus 2x less than or equal to negative 9. And then we got to do 7 minus 2x greater than or equal to 9. We'll start over here, taking away 7. Negative 2x is less than or equal to negative 16. We divided by a negative, so now don't forget about one of our rules. It says we divide or multiply by a negative. Inequality has to switch, right? So there's our first set of solutions. X is greater than or equal to 8. Does look like over here the same thing is going to happen. So I get this negative 2x. Sign doesn't change there, right? Because that's just subtracting 7. That will give me negative 2. Here I'll divide by negative 2. So here it's going to switch to x less than or equal to negative 1. And there we go. Okay. Now if we switch this to interval notation, I'd start with a bracket, because I'm going to include 8, then head off to infinity and make it unbounded. Over here, negative infinity, unbounded, come up to negative 1 and include it. All right, here is, I don't put a lot of like scale factors, just I try to make it proportional. Like when I do my number line, I always mark 0, and then I'm like, okay, negative 1 is going to be like right next to it, and if that's the case, then 8 is going to be much farther above 0 than negative 1 is below. And from there, I'll start with 8, right? Mark that with a bracket. That, 8 is a solution. And then everything that's out here. And then down here, negative 1 is a solution. And then highlight everything right there. And you've got your solutions. You've got them plotted on a number line. For absolute value, those 4 cover all your bases, right? They kind of worked in every little wrinkle that you could have with less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, or equal to. What to do if you get that negative and it gives you no solutions. So you're pretty well set. Those are 4 good ones to study off of, because anything you get test or quiz-wise, going to feel pretty similar to those 4.